Right, good morning everyone. Happy Monday, start of a new week. So we're going to be starting off with some English today. Let's have a look at the time. It is about 5 to. Okay, so in about 5 minutes we're going to start the lesson. Remember, all you need is a pen and some paper. Hope you've all had a good weekend. See, already there's quite a few people in the chat. So hello to all of those in the chat there. Glad to see you. And like I said, in about 5 minutes or so, we're going to get started straight on with the lesson. Hi Amelia, hi Emily, good to see you down. Hi Evie, hi Tom. Hello Mrs. Carthy, Miss Allison. Hi Zachary. 2 minutes or so, we're going to get started. Hi Catherine, hi Iris. Hi Seb. Good morning Millie, morning Ellie, good morning Jake. Morning Isabel. Hi Isabel. Hi Christian. One minute ago, and we're going to get started. Right, so let's have a look. 10 o'clock. So we are gonna go and get started. So, yes, it's Monday, which means we are looking at SPaG. So I'm just gonna get the chat on my iPad so I can see what you guys are saying. So starting with some SPaG today. Quick go over the rules again with it being new week. In the chat, please try and stay on task. Yes, you chatting one before, you can chat afterwards, that's absolutely fine. But if there's anyone in there that's spamming anything or doing anything and spoiling for other people, we have got some of the teachers in there, so they will time you out, and if you keep doing it, they'll eventually hide you from the chat, which means you can still watch the video, you'll not be in the chat. We don't do that, anyone, please. So just follow along. As well as that, if you do need any help or anything like that, anything, you're really struggling, it's best to put it in the comments rather than the chat, okay? Because the chat goes by quite quickly and goes away afterwards, whereas the comments will stay there, so I will definitely catch those. Okay, so as always, all you need is a pen and a piece of paper for the lesson. There are worksheets that I'll give you the link to afterwards. There is also an online quiz and stuff that you can do afterwards as well. And if you need any help to go along with the lessons, you can contact us on the Padlet where the worksheets all are. An email address on there as well. You can also contact me on Facebook, Instagram or Twitter, Mr. Biggins123, and you can send me a message that way. Okay, so lots of different ways. Before we get started on the lesson, just going to go over the Kahoot from last week. So last week we had our online quiz on Kahoot on imperative verbs, dash for afterthought, and the spelling rule that we looked after. And there were 5 people who got 100% on the test, so well done to those. Well done to Stephen L, well done to Oliver W, well done to Freya LT, well done to Seb B, well done to Amelia C. Okay, Seb, you mustn't get that from your mum. It's family. Anyway, so we're going to start off with our word of the week. So we've tried to use a word every week, and this is a great thing that we can, if you're looking for one, there's a Twitter page called Word Ninja. So Vocabulary Ninja. And they put up words every single day if you want one every day. But we're trying to improve our vocabulary, so we're using different words. And the only way that you're going to introduce a word into your vocabulary, if you just look at that word, participate, I know what that means now. Okay, you're never going to introduce it to your own vocabulary. The only way you do that is to use the word. Okay, use the word when you're writing, use the word when you're talking, use the word when you're thinking about things. Okay, when you've used it a few times, it'll eventually just become part of your vocabulary and it will come out normally like all the other words do. Okay, so participate, you've probably heard it before, but participate means to take part in. So if you're taking part in something, you are participating in it. So I want to participate in the Olympics one day. Okay, or he was participating in a charity event. Okay, there's the different ways we can use it. So we've got some synonyms here. So remember, synonym is a word that means the same. So take part, so obviously participate, take part, and involve. Remember, these always mean slightly different things. So I was involved means you're participating. If you involve someone, you're helping them to participate, if you know what I mean. And we have an antonym, so a word that means the opposite, okay? So we've got prevent and ignore. Again, make sure that you are using them in the right way, because you can ignore someone that's got nothing to do with participating. Okay, but if you ignore an event, it means you're not participating in it, doesn't it? And if you prevent in something from happening, you're stopping it from happening. So he prevented the race, he stopped the race, okay, then you're not participating, is it? So these two aren't exact antonyms, okay, but they can be used to express meanings that do mean simply the opposite. Now, it's up to you what you want to do with this word. You might want to write it down, write your synonyms down, antonyms down. Some of you might have done it already before we even got started, and then just try and use it when you are doing work. So that is our word of the week. Now we're going to do what we do every Monday. We are going to have a little brain starter, a little SPaG wake up. Okay, so a couple of questions to get our brains going before we get started in the main part of the lesson. Where are we going? For green. Okay, so I'm going to write a sentence down. Look at that shimmery lake. It is just a magical setting. Now what I want you to do is to find the adjectives, okay? Adjectives in that sentence, pop them down in the chat for me. If you're watching on the replay or you haven't got the chat, maybe just jot them down on a piece of paper, maybe tell them to someone that is next to you. Can you tell me the adjectives in that sentence. Look, adjectives, plural, there is more than one. So what are the adjectives in that sentence? And just ignore this one for now. I'm just getting it while you're putting your answers down. So we've got another sentence there. Okay, this blue one. I want you. Actually, let's have a look at our answers first, see if we've got any. Okay. Oh, you go back down the bottom, how far away. Brilliant, let's have a look. Leah, Ollie, Be Thankful, Catherine, Poppy, Alien Master 009. Just to let you know, the Padlet link, I have put the new ones on my video. Someone mentioned they weren't working. So if yours are not working, you press F5 now and the link should change and they should work there. Okay, but don't worry, at the end of the video, if you still can't get to them, we'll sort that out. All right. Well done, Evie. Well done, Izzy. Donk. Well done, the Chicken Man. Well done, Emily. Yeah, it was. The two adjectives were, there's my green, there we go, were shimmery and magical. Remember, adjectives describe a noun. They tell us more information about a noun. So lake is our noun, okay, and it's shimmery. If it was shimmering, okay, it will be a verb because it's something that is doing, isn't it? So that's how sometimes you've got to be careful because changing suffixes and prefixes can change what type of word it is. And then setting, okay, where they are set is magical. Let's tell us about the setting. So in this one here, can you find the adverb for me? Okay, can't remember an adverb. Think about what verb is. Think about what ad meant here. Can you work it out? So they hid quickly under the table. What is the adverb in that sentence? Okay, let's have a look, see if we've got the adverb. Loads of people got there. I see Millie, Tom, Milo, Joseph, Ollie, Richard. Okay, I can't see. I'm just going to check something. My big someone away is looking quite bright today. Can't see those. Can you see the words a little bit better there? Okay, I'm going to write this next sentence again, but I can see lots of people have got the adverb. Okay, the adverb was quickly. Remember, an adverb tells us how a verb is being done. Okay, right. I'm going to use another pen and write this sentence. Orange pen. Okay, I think Miss Cathy just sent me a message about that. Yeah, thank you. Right, so we found the adverb. In this next sentence, what I want you to find, that's better. Let's have a look. Ronnie fled. I want you to find the prepositions. This one might be a little bit harder. Okay. If you're thinking, oh, I can't remember what a preposition is, think of the word. Okay. I always think of the word because there's something in it that helps me. There's another word hidden inside preposition that helps me. Pop in the chat, what are the prepositions? If you can only find one of them, there are two. Okay. If you can only find one of them, just put the one that you can find down. So Ronnie fled into the jungle past the river. Okay. Can you spot the preposition in that sentence. And I will write up in there. So, Ronnie fled into the jungle past the river. Let's see if we have got your answers here. Oh, loads are coming in. Well done, Tom, getting them both. And Jasmine. And Milo. Well done, Ruby. Loads of people there. I'm trying to look for people I've mentioned yet. Well done, Alfie. Well done, Drew. Right, okay, so yeah, there you go. It was into and past. If you weren't sure there, a preposition, I always think of this part of the word, position, tells us where something is in relation to something else. So fled into the jungle, who's going into the jungle, and past the river, it's where they're going, okay? So he was like behind, under, above. Those are all prepositions. Tells us the position, of something. So my hamster loved to play, so I gave him a hula hoop, obviously. What else would you do with a hamster that loves to play? Okay, but what you've got to find for me, now again, this is one that we probably haven't looked at for a while and you haven't thought of. Where are they? I want you to find a coordinating conjunction. We have another word that we normally use for a coordinating conjunction. If you knew that one, you'd probably find that quite quickly because it helps us find it. So where is the coordinating conjunction in there? Remember, conjunction joins two clauses. So where is the coordinating conjunction? Have a think. What's the word that we call coordinating conjunctions to remember them? Once you've remembered that, it will be easy. Okay, my hamster loved to play, so I gave it a hula hoop. Let's see who has found the... Oh, loads in there. Claire, Lucy, let's have a look. Austin, Heidi, Seb, Billy, and loads more have got it in there, guys, okay? I will go back through the chat, try and mention as many people as I can, because I know there's loads of you getting the answers in there, with you 100 being in the lesson there at the minute. You don't have to put it in twice. If you put it in twice, it's going to be hard for me to get through. Okay, well done, Anna. Yes, it was so. Now, the easy way to remember coordinating conjunctions is remember what we call them. We call them fanboys. Because the only coordinating conjunctions we have are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and, so. Okay, we had so in there. So coordinating conjunctions, remember, join two main clauses together, two parts of it that make sense on its own. So my hamster loved to play. I gave it a hula hoop. They both make sense on their own. And that's why we have got a coordinating conjunction in there. Well done for all of you found it there. Right, we've got one at the top there. I just love these curtains. Fabulous, darling. Okay, what I want you to find in there is a pronoun. Where is the pronoun in that sentence? And then we'll do one last one. So I just love these curtains. Mrs. Carthy, stop it. Guys, if you hear me just talking to Mrs. Carthy and think I'm going mad and think I've been in my house for too long and I'm getting cabin fever, I've got a chat open so she can tell me if anyone's got really good answers and stuff like that. That's why I'm talking to her. People think I'm the naughty one. Okay, so I just love these curtains. Okay, loads of chats, just got loads of the right answer. Tom, Claire, if you just pop the answer in once there, you've got it right, brilliant. Okay, just pop it in once, I will see it. Isabel, very funny. Sophie, well done, yes, you've got it right. Billy, Tom, Olivia, Poppy. Okay, loads got it right there. It is the word I. Remember, a pronoun replaces a noun. Okay, so rather than me saying Mr. B just loves loves these curtains, I replace that with I. Okay, so we don't say the same thing over and over again. So your I, your he, your she, your they, the them. Okay, words that you replace it. On the last little starter that we've got there is, I want you to find a subordinating conjunction. Can you find a subordinating conjunction for me? So, until the mist cleared, Jenny and Phil waited patiently. So, until the mist cleared, Jenny and Phil waited patiently. I don't know where they are, where this mist is. But they're waiting patiently. What is a subordinate conjunction? So we've had a coordinating conjunction. Remember, that was our fanboy that connected two main clauses. So it's a conjunction. So it's going to join two clauses, but not two main clauses. It's actually going to join a main clause and a subordinating clause. So here we have a main clause and a subordinating clause. What is the word that joins them two together? Brilliant, straight away. Evie, Sydney, Ruby, Emily, Ben. I'm going to go at the start. Let's see who's starting to get it right at the start. Joseph, Olivia, William. Millie, Leah, Amelie. Gazzy Wazzy, North East England. Well done. Okay, you got that. That was, okay, the word until. Now, until, okay, sometimes we normally have main clause, subordinating clauses. Jenny and Phil waited patiently until the mist cleared. Then sometimes it's obvious, but here it's a little bit obvious because we have our comma, because we have our subordinating clause at the front of the sentence, and we always have our subordinating conjunction at the start of that subordinating clause. Okay, sometimes you don't have the subordinating clause, but if you do, it is always the start. That is what I mean. Okay, so well done. I don't think there was one that no one got, and when I mean no one, I mean there was lots of right answers in there. Don't worry if you didn't get one. What you need to focus on is if there was one you didn't get, understand, or you didn't get, right, what wasn't it? What was the one I didn't get? Okay, what was it? Learn what it is, and then next time that we do them or you're looking at them, you'll be able to see. So today, for our spelling part of the lesson, the first part of the lesson, we are going to be looking at words that end with the ending ant and deck. No, ant and end. I will never not think I'm funny, so don't even tell me I'm not funny. Okay, we've got ant and ent words that we are looking at. So words that we are looking at are things like important, and words like confidence. So you can see there we've got ant at the end, there we've got ent at the end. Okay, so we are looking at the spelling rule that helps us with words that end ant or words that end ent. Okay, because sometimes it can be easy to get these mixed up when you say this is ant at the end or ent at the end. This is E or E, you can't work it out. So we're going to go through. Now, as always say this like a broken record. With spelling rules, unfortunately in English, there are a lot of exceptions, and there are exceptions to this rule, okay? But what we're going to do today is we are going to focus on questions. So we focus on words that do follow the rule. So, firstly, let's look at ant. So we usually use ant, ant, at the end of a word if the letter before it is a T. So I'll put letter before here. Now these are the things that you should be noting down. on a piece of paper, your notes or anything that you can look back at, that can help you with the work that you're going to do afterwards, and that will obviously help in the future. So if the word ends a T or a V or a, let's just get rid of these, okay, we don't need them. So if it ends in a T or a V, or, now this one, you might think what you're talking about, Mr. Biggins. A hard G or a hard C, okay? And I'm going to show you what a hard G and a hard C is at. So don't worry if you're thinking, I know what a T and a V is, but what's a hard G and a hard C, okay? So you can see important there, ends with we have a T there, which means we're ending in ANT, okay? Because we've said any words that end with this T, we're going to have an on the end there. Again, if it had a V as well, we would have there, okay? Hard G and hard C are the ones that are a little bit more difficult that we don't know. So your hard G, okay, a word that has the hard G is elegant, okay? So the G sound is the hard G. So elegant, okay? You can see we end in ANT because it's got that hard G sound. So elegant, okay? I'm really exaggerating that G, but it's so you can hear it, okay? Elegant. And when I show you in a minute, I'm going to show you a soft G and a soft C, okay? You will notice the difference. So a hard G, elegant, G, G. Hard C, we've got a word like significant, okay? So it's a K, K sound, okay? So that's the sound that we have when it's a hard C, a K sound. Significant, okay? So that's the word that we have. Now, if you're writing these down your notes, I would put these two words as examples, because when you come back, you think, oh, right, I know what a hard G is, a G sound, and the hard C is a K sound, okay? But when you look back at these notes, okay, if you haven't wrote your examples down, you will forget, okay? So you can pop them down, and when you say the word, you'll hear the sound, and you'll be able to hear it. So, let's move on to anything, okay? So, we normally, if the letter before, I'm going to put a line down here so we don't get mixed up. So, if the letter before okay, so letter before, if it is QU, because they tend to come together, QU or D, we use ENT, so they're confident, has that D at the end there, so we use ENT rather than ENT. And then it's the opposite of this one. So a soft C or a soft G. Okay, don't know why I've done in either order, just to keep you on your toes. So soft QU or D, obviously, so letters there, we put them. Your soft C and your soft C, let's see what those sounds make. So we have a word like innocent. It's got more of an S sound really to it, isn't it? If you think significant, innocent. Okay, so that C is making a different sound. So when it makes a S sound, okay, we have ENT on the end, like innocent. Okay, and the soft G, let's have a word here. Negligent. Negligent. Okay, je. It's got that je sound. Okay, it sounds almost French. Oui, oui. Miss Cathy loves my accent. She loves my Scottish, but she loves my French as well. It is a bon appetit. But negligent, okay, is a je sound. And it's probably because they've come originally from the French language and stuff, but we're not going to get into that, okay? So you can see the elegant, negligent, okay? That G is making a different sound. So, quick recap there. If you're writing a word, if the letter before is a T, V, a hard G like a G, or a hard C like a K, you put ENT on the end. If it ends, the letters before are QU, D, or a soft C like a S, or a soft G like a J, okay, then you add ENT on the end. Now, there are exceptions, and there's also this letter R. Perhaps if I write them in the right one. The letter R is a one that can be either just to annoy us. Okay, got an R there and an ant, R there and an N. So current and ignorant. R, it can be either one. So guess what? We just have to learn them. And as I say every week, best way to learn spellings and get them inside your head, okay, is to just practice them over and over. So that is the spelling rule that we have looked at today. So what we're going to do today is we are going to have a quick spelling test. Okay, as we always do, remember the rule is more important than getting the whole word right. Okay, if you don't get the word right, practice it afterwards and get used to it. But if you get the ant or the ent right, that is what we are looking for today, because we're trying to learn this rule. So don't be too harsh on yourself if you don't get the rest of the word. I'm going to leave the sounds up, okay, but I'm going to rub out the words because I might use some of those in the little test. So I don't want you to put your answers for the spelling into the chat, please. Just on your piece of paper, write them down, and at the end we'll check the spellings. If you want to tell me how many you got, some people like to. You can obviously remember R can be either. Okay, so here we go. First one, number one. Your first spelling is relevant. The question was relevant to the lesson. Relevant. So the word relevant means it's something that you should be, that matches or goes with it. Okay. So in the chat, if you're talking about stuff that's not to do with work, that's not relevant. If you're talking about work, that is relevant. Meta. Yes, Isabel, you watch the chat. Don't put the answers in the chat, just put them in on a piece of paper. If you are trying the spelling test, okay, don't look at the chat because some people come in the middle or something and pop them in the chat and you'll be able to see them. But don't worry, just have a go on your piece of paper first without looking. Your next word, frequent. His trips outside became more frequent. Frequent. That was just a sentence. They shouldn't be getting more frequent. Yes, don't worry about the chat, guys. If you're trying to have a go, just ignore the chat for the next 2 minutes or so while we're doing the test. If people are popping the answers in, the teachers are taking them off as they're going in, okay? But if you just don't look at the chat, it's not an issue, is it? Okay, next word, independent. Mrs. Carthy was a very independent woman. Independent. I amuse myself. It's all that you can think of. Next one. Remember, this is a hard one. Current. But we did have it on the board. Current. I am enjoying the current lesson. Your next word, reluctant. He was reluctant to give them the answers. Reluctant. Your next word, decent. He was a decent man. I'm going to say this, really stress the sound here. Decent. Just because I like you. Just so you know, this week would have been Sats week. And if it was a spelling test in the SATs, I would not have been saying a word like that. Your next word, negligent. Negligent. The teacher was negligent and all his students ran away. Negligent. That was number 7, okay? Don't worry if you miss 1 or 2, okay? I'm not going to come round your house and berate you for it. If you miss 1 or 2 of the words, just check the ones that you got down, alright? Yes, Isabel, that was 7. Number 8, elegant. Elegant. The dancer was very elegant, just like me. And your last one, number 9, confident. Confident. Elegant means like very graceful and floaty if they're dancing and things like that, and quite, no, I wouldn't say posh, quite regal. They're very elegant. Confident. So let's quickly get the spellings up on the board. So your first one was relevant. So relevant. Okay. Got your V there, so we end A-N-T. Then we have frequent, Q-U there. Okay, so we have E-N-T. Independent. Not listening to my own route. Independent. Okay, E-N-T because we've got a D. Current is one of the ones where it's an R, so you just have to have you have to know that one, okay? There's no sort of rule with the R's. Reluctant, we've got our T there, like important. So we have ENT. That more of an S sound, the soft C. So we have decent, ENT. Negligent, we had that soft G there, we had that one up on the board, so we went over that one. Elegant, okay, that's hard G, so we have the ENT at the end. Confident, okay, D at the end, so we have our ENT there, okay. So, hope you did okay on those. Your ENT were the most important things there. I didn't see there, I mentioned the SATs obviously because we're doing a spelling test. I did see quite a lot of people there saying that they missed doing the SATs and they wish they'd done them and stuff like that. Yes, it is SATs week. Well, what would have been SATs week? And you have worked really, anyone who's in year 6, I know how hard you've worked. And not just this year, but all the years leading up to it to get ready for your SATs, okay? But don't worry at all. Okay, that work hasn't went to waste or anything like that. All of that work, the SATs mean nothing in the grand scheme of things, okay? All that work that you've done is helped to get you ready to go into your secondary school, and you're going to use all those skills and all those things that you've learned in there, okay? So it's not the best that you're not doing your SATs if you really want to do them. I know some of you will probably be singing from the rooftops that you aren't doing, but the amount of work and the amount of effort that you put in isn't for nothing at all, okay? It's helping you become smarter, more knowledgeable, okay, more intelligent, better at the things that you do, and made you really, really ready for your secondary school, okay? So please don't be too worried about missing out on your SATs, okay? It's a piece of paper with some things on. Myself, the other teachers, Miss Carthy, Miss Allison, Miss Rice, if you're from another school, okay, your teachers will know how hard you work and how good you are, and that's all that matters, okay? And that's all you've got to worry about. And I can see some really good spelling ones in there, okay, 8s and 9s. So that's really, really good. Yes, Mrs. Carthy, SATs don't measure how fab you are, okay? There's no test for that. So please, please, please don't worry about them. Now, with that out of the way, we are going to move on to our more punctuation and grammar side of the lesson. Okay, today we're going to be looking at grammar, and we're going to be looking at something called figurative language. Okay, and again, don't fear the word figurative language. It is just something that we use. Okay, one of these complicated English words that we use for something, when you look at it, is quite easy to understand, really. All right, so we're going to look at figurative language today, but there's quite a few different things in figurative language, and it's able to give like lots of different devices that we actually use in our writing, lots of different things that we use in writing. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a couple today, and then we're going to look at some more next week, because I didn't want to put them all into one lesson. So as we go through it, I'm going to write down the names of the device, what it is, some examples, things like that. Best doing is write down notes of what these things are. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to look at is something that you might have heard of, is something called let's go here, something called metaphor. Okay, so metaphor means when we say an object or a person is something that it isn't literally. Okay, so it's when we say an object or person. Maybe I'll put one. And I know what I've done there. I've ruined some of your notes when you're writing them down and you'll be fuming at us. I apologise. When we say an object or person is something it literally isn't. Now the word literally means something that is actually true, okay? So when people say he literally flew away, okay, that's not using the word correctly. Literally means something that's actually happening. So I like that, but then I also found, okay, and I think Miss Allison and Miss Carter like this one, another way of saying it is poetically calling things something else. I like that description, okay? So poetically calling things something else. I know Mrs. Rice will like that one. I'll have to see if she let her know if she's not moderating at the minute. So when we say an object or a person is something it literally isn't, that would be helpful. So when we say something literally isn't, the easiest way is an example. Okay, he had a heart of gold. Okay, she was a rock. Okay, so when we say these things, he had a heart of gold, we're saying that that person's a really kind person, aren't we? He had a heart of gold. Does he actually have a heart of gold? Is his gold made of heart? Okay, unless it's some sort of sci-fi story, I think not. So it's not actually made of gold, but it's something we're saying. She was a rock. Is that person actually a rock? There's only one person that's actually a rock, and that's Dwayne Johnson. Apart from that, it's a metaphor, isn't it? Okay, she was a rock. It means someone's strong and sturdy, doesn't it? And that they're being really helpful for people who are upset and things like that. So she was a rock. But is that person actually a rock? No, they're literally not a rock. So that is what a metaphor is, and it's easier to explain, and you probably understand it more now that you've seen a couple of answers. So things aren't actually made of gold or rock, but we're using them to show the characteristics, okay? So the characteristics of a rock are being strong and being unmovable, or we're trying to give this person those characteristics. So that's why we use it. We're not just using it to be silly or for any other reason. Okay. If I said he was a monster, he's not actually a monster. I could just be talking about a normal person, but I'm saying that he's nasty and he's not a nice person and he does things that scare people. Okay, because I'm giving them the characteristics of the thing that I am saying that they are, and that's why we use it. So if I write a sentence, I want you to tell me, let's go blue, I want you to tell me what the metaphor is in this sentence in the chat. So that is not going to be able to be seen, I don't think. Let's go with red. Don't know what's happening, and that's probably not going to be able to be seen. Mrs. Carthy, would you let me know in the chat, please, or Miss Allison, if you can't see this sentence? So, it was a strange day. Remember, you're looking for the metaphor. Right, okay. I'll use black from after this, Miss Carthy, but thanks for letting us know about this one. Okay, so it was a strange day. They had both been on a roller coaster of emotions. Okay, in the chat, can you tell me where is the metaphor in that? It was a strange day. They had both been on a roller coaster of emotions. Okay, and I'm going to start writing the next one while you are popping your answers down. Sorry for the squeak. Kathy's probably watching me. Yeah, that is much better, I can see. Let's have a look and see loads of answers in there already. Well done, Ellie. Well done, Freya. Well done, Emily. Well done, Stephen. Well done, Nicola. Well done, Julianne. Well done, Millie, Ollie. Jasmine. Milo and Lucas. Well done. It was roller coaster of emotions, okay? Because there isn't actually a roller coaster made of emotions, is there? Okay, it's telling us that there's ups and downs and the emotions have been good and been bad. So we're given the characteristics of a roller coaster to her emotions, okay? Brilliant. So again, let's find it in this one. I'm going to try and stick with black, and I need to sort out my pens after this lesson, I think. Make sure which ones we can see on camera. So I'm going to stick with black for the rest of the lesson. I like having a nice bright board, but need a better cameras first, don't I? Okay. So in the chat, can you write down what the metaphor is in this lesson? So, and if there's any words that you can't see or anything like that, if you just listen, I am seeing them a few times as well. It was one of the worst days until she came in. She was the light of his life. It was one of the worst days until she came in. She was the light of his life. Okay. She was the light of his life. Well done, Freya. Well done, Alien Master again. Well done, Lucy. Well done, Ollie. Can we stay on task for us, please, matey? Well done, Alfie. Well done, Millie. Well done, Julianne. Well done, Sophie. Be thankful. Catherine, Jasmine. Yeah, it was the light of his life. She's literally not the light in his life, but she's not the going around and lighting up everything for him. It's given us that. Remember, light makes things clear, makes us understand. It's gives us comfort in darkness, and that's what we're trying to get over to the characteristics. Sorry, that we're trying to give to this person. Okay, so there are a couple. You might be able to think of a couple of more metaphors that you've heard. If you've heard of any metaphors where you say, remember, we've had roller coaster of emotions, like in his life, he was a monster, he was a beast, okay? Can you think of any more that you've heard or read or anything like that, and pop them in the chat while we are moving on to our next thing? Pop any metaphors that you've heard of in the chat for me. So, we've got those two down. Where am I sticking? Yeah. So that's our first little bit of figurative language that we are going to look at. Okay, two more we're going to do quickly. So we've done metaphor. I'll rub that off because if you missed anything for your notes or anything like that, you can watch the lesson again back afterwards. Just little parts if you need and things like that. But you can watch it. So the next thing that we're going to look at is simile. Okay, now a simile is a little bit like a metaphor. Okay. It's raining cats and dogs. I'm just checking, okay, because I've just said similes are a lot like metaphors. Some of you actually put similes down rather than metaphors, and you're going to see that now, but I'll shout any. Her voice was birdsong. Lovely, Millie. Always with some great answers. It's raining cats and dogs. Okay. He ruled with an iron fist. That's a brilliant one, okay? Because the fist isn't actually made of iron, is it? Okay, and it's nothing but helping him rule, but saying that he's really strong and unbendable like iron, isn't it? You can't change his opinions. So yeah, some really good metaphors in there. Now, simile is similar, and some of you popped down some similes in there. Now, this is a simile is when we state that something is we compare it to something else. Okay, so we're not saying something is something, we're comparing it to something else. Okay, so comparing something to another thing that is similar. Okay, so we don't use similar things that are opposite, and I can remember I've just said I write in black and I wrote in green. So it's comparing something to another thing that is similar. So I'll give you an example. Okay. He eats like a pig. Okay, it's me yesterday when I was out shopping and I saw Greggs was open. Great times. The children were as cute as kittens. Okay. Now, one of the easy ways, and this might be what I might write down, to spot similes over metaphors is looking for things like a or as a. Because if you say those things, you are not, okay, you are not saying that someone is something. You're not saying that they are a pig, okay? So if you were making that, we'll go on that in a little bit. We'll go on to changing metaphors and similes into each other in a little bit. But you're saying things are like it. So let's have a little example. Where is my simile in this sentence? He was, nice easy one. He's fast as lightning. Where is my simile in that sentence? Where is my simile? Where is my simile? Now, earlier on when I mentioned and I was asking some of you to give me metaphors for you as cold as ice, okay? And someone said as mean as a beast, okay? These were similes because we've got as and like it. You're not saying something is something. You're saying it is like it. You're comparing it, okay? And we've got some answers coming in there. Catherine, Billy, Isabel, Ollie, fast as lightning. Yep, fast as lightning is our as fast as lightning. Okay, so we have those as in. Okay, sometimes it's as, sometimes it's as. So it's fast as lightning. So we are, and Amelie's putting someone as sharp as a knife. Okay, so you say, oh, that's as sharp as a knife. As dark as a black hole. Okay, remember we're comparing it. You're not saying it is a black hole. So yes, that's brilliant. That's right. Someone said there his heart was smashing into 1,000 pieces. That would be a metaphor, wouldn't it? Because you haven't said it was like his heart was smashing into 1,000 pieces. You've seen it was, but it actually wasn't, was it? It's still there, it's still in one, but we're seeing how it's broken. Okay? So there's lots of answers in there. Really, really well done with your similes. So that's how we need to compare. So what I want to do is I'm going to write 2 sentences up. Okay, one is going to be a simile and one is going to be a metaphor. Okay, so we're going to have when he came in, he acted like an ogre. When he came in, he acted like an ogre. And number 2, we're going to have when he came in. So similar meanings in the sentence. Very similar. When he came in, he was an ogre. Can you give me the number, okay, of which one is the metaphor? Which one of these is the metaphor? Okay, so we got when he came in, number 1, he acted like an ogre. And number 2, when he came in, he was an ogre. Okay, which one of those is a metaphor? Is it 1 or is it 2? Most people there. Joshua, Lucas, Heidi, Lucy, Kira, be thankful, Milo, all saying 2. And yes, you're right. Remember, metaphor, we are saying something is something, so that it isn't. So we're saying that he is an ogre when we know he's not. Okay, it's just a normal person. So we're saying something is something, metaphor. We said here he acted like an ogre. We're comparing it to an ogre's actions. So you know how to spot one, which is great. Do you know how to swap between them though? So one more sentence. If I said the world is like a stage, that is a metaphor. I'm comparing the world to something else. I'm comparing it to a stage. Can anyone in the chat, while I'm getting our last little piece ready, can anyone in the chat tell me, okay, how could you turn that into a metaphor? Can someone turn that into a metaphor and pop it in the chat for me? The world is like a stage. Change that into a metaphor for me, please. While I'm waiting for the lag, let me write that down. I wonder if that pen sweep's getting on anyone else's nerves or just mine. Right, okay, let's have a look, see if we've been able to change it. Brilliant, we've got it straight away. The world is a stage, or the world is our stage, okay? Catcher for Life, Milo, Freya, Christian, Joshua, Jasmine, Milo, let's see, we've got The first one's getting it. Let's have a look. Ollie, Amelie, Catherine, Ellie, Laz Abdullah, Alfie, Lucy. Loads of people there getting the right answer. Okay. Isabel adding other things in there as well, but still making it a metaphor. So you're right, Isabel. Really, really well done. Okay. So yeah, so the world is one word out, that becomes a metaphor, because I'm not comparing it anymore, I'm saying it is something. Alright, well done on a metaphor. The last little thing that we are going to look at is one that you will all know of, and you'll have done in school, is personification. Now, personification is giving human-like qualities or characteristics to something that isn't human, okay? Again, best way to see it is with an example. The leaves danced. Or we could have the house stood over them. Okay? So leaves can't dance, can they? But it's like they're dancing. Houses don't stand, they're just built, they're there. We're giving it that human-like characteristics in order to add atmosphere and creativity to our writing. So there's a definition, 2 examples you can jot down. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to write a sentence down. Our last little question of the day. And can you write down what the personification is? So in the chat, please. I mean, obviously, if you're watching back on the replay or you're not in the chat, just write it down. Tell someone that's there. See, here. Can I tell you some personification? And they'll go, what's personification? And you say, well, I'll tell you. Personification is when you give human-like characteristics to something that isn't a human. And then you'll have been a teacher for a day. And then you'll say, I think Mr. B has went a little bit mad. He hasn't had as many people to talk to as normal. And they'll go, I always knew he was mad. Okay, so where is the personification in that sentence? As she skipped through the field, the wind whispered in her ear and she smiled. Where is the personification in that last sentence there? Okay. So if you're not sure where it is, that's fine. Have a look in the chat, because there are lots of people starting to get the answer there. Who's got it? Amelie. Got Lucy. Well done, Lucy. Well done, Sunset Gamers. Well done, Millie. Well done, Lucas. Claire, Freya, Sydney, Rue. Oh, Ruby Stack and Miss Allison. Yeah, thank you, Miss Allison. I know what you did, but I know how good you are, so it must have been something good. Olivia, well done. Alien Master, Got You for Life. Jasmine, Isabel, Lola. Well done. That's the first time I've seen you in the chat, Lola. Hello. Kira. Well done, Francis. Well done, Michelle. Loads and loads of really good answers there. Yes, it is the right answer. It is the wind whispered, okay, in her ear, or the wind whispered, because obviously the wind can't whisper, can't talk, can it? But we know exactly what it's trying to do when it gives that. So that is absolutely brilliant, okay? So we've had a good day today. We've had a look at some spelling, ent and ant. We had a little starter to get our brains going at the beginning. And we've looked at metaphor, simile, and personification, okay? So that is it for today. Now, Most of you will know, but if you're new to the lesson, because I can see there's quite a few viewers in compared to normal, if you are new to the lesson, in the description for the video is 2 links, one for year 5, one for year 6, okay? If you're in a different year, you can access whichever one you want, but there are worksheets on there that go along with this lesson, a little bit of spelling, a little bit of personification and metaphor and simile. I already forgot what we went over. And you can do some work on there. As well as that, there is also a link to a Kahoot, which is an online quiz. Tells you how to get to it there, and that is on personification and personification, metaphor, simile, and spelling, the same as we've done there now. So once you've had a go at the work, you can do that. Okay, you get a top score. Whoever's top, I will announce. What I've also been doing is, because I've got a lot of people coming first, I've now put timers on the question. Timers, but the quicker you get the question, the more points you get. So it will mean from the quizzes going on, we should have outright winners, okay, rather than 5 people getting 100%. So you're gonna have to really make sure you know your stuff before you go on the lesson, because if you take ages looking at your notes, you're gonna get less score, okay? So you need to know before you go in. Again, if you need any help, pop it in the comments, okay, of the video, or you can contact me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, Mr. Biggins123, or you can contact us on the Padlet and send us an email on the link that's on there. There are so many different ways for you to get in contact if you are struggling with work. If you want to send us any work that you're doing to check over, to make sure it's right, anything like that, you can send us that as well, and we will have a look at that, and hopefully that will help you all out. It's been a really good lesson today when I've been looking. The chat's been really good. Okay, you've been working really well. No, thank you. I'd see people saying thank you. Bye Lola. Bye Seb. Bye Alia Massa. Okay, I am going to stick around for 5-10 minutes like I normally do. And if you do need any help right now, or there's something you didn't understand in the lesson, you can ask me in the chat, and I can give you a hand with that now. So I'm going to stick around for 5-10 minutes or so. So if you've got any questions about what we've been learning, you can ask those now. Okay. Apart from that, thank you very much for coming along. Hopefully see you tomorrow morning when we will be doing some maths. We'll be looking at some 3D shapes. Okay. Please like the video, share it with anyone that you think it will help out, and subscribe will help you make sure you see the other ones. Really help me out there as well, guys. Thanks a lot for coming along, and see you in the chat if you need any help. If not, see you tomorrow. Right, guys, looks like I've answered any questions in the chat about the lesson, anyone had or anything like that. So we're going to end the stream there. Remember, the work is in the link below in the description, and if you need to catch up on anything or anything like that, you can rewatch the lesson and just parts that you need to recap on or anything like that. Hope it's been helpful. See you tomorrow at 10 o'clock for the 3D maths lesson, and hopefully all be good then. Okay, thanks a lot. Get in contact on my socials if you need any help with the work. Miss Biggins123. See you tomorrow.